Thank you for calling Samaritans. At times when our service is busy, you may be placed in a queue to talk to a volunteer as soon as one becomes available. Please hold the line to retain your place in the queue. Thank you. Hello, Samaritans?
Hi. My name's Alice. I'm struggling. I was listening to, do you know that Leonard Cohen song? Do you know, there's a crack in everything? I was thinking, what if I'm a boat? But then, Leonard, what if I'm a boat? No, I don't literally think I'm a boat. I just, sorry, I sometimes speak in metaphor when I'm just a bit distressed. You know, it's like, Stephen Fry says it's like weather. You know, it's just been raining, and the rain's okay, it's just the lightning. No, it's lovely outside, yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. I'll try that. Thanks. Bye. She suggested I go for a walk. That old chestnut. One step at a time. They say angels speak to a man when he goes for a walk. But I'm a woman. And all that talk of angels and men begs for realignment. 'Cause yeah, I love to walk and clear my head, but feel angels and men are too separate. In my utopian dream, I dream when I go for a walk. They are the same thing. It began as a teenage dream, when my favourite singer-songwriter said we are everyday angels. And I still believe our divinity's not dead. And I wear wings on my cotton pants every month, reminding me of my mortality. But I'm determined to earn divinity. A modern day clumsy Clarence, that's me. Cheers, God. You've given me a wonderful life of needing and bleeding and tears and grieving and wasting time watching TV. And God, what fools these mortals be, because needing just creates more needing, and TV perpetuates those negative feelings. So along with walking, I've taken up reading. The bells are ringing inside my head. Every time a bell rings, a poem gets its wings. Can I ring one or two for you?
Yes.
Blow them into your ear while you're lying in bed. Because I'm collecting words, like BFG dreams, and the words of others that came before me. Because we all have those days when we need a fix to clear our head. But today, I'm on the sunny side, and I will try to stay there. Because I've got pride inside for where I walk, and who I talk to, in the footsteps of angels on Belfast streets, with big names, big games, big dreams in my head. And I'm reminded of a man who grew up on these streets, an angel now, but his goals were hard to beat. A kick-about kid brought up in the east, that beautiful boy had magic feet. He's earned himself an immortality it's hard to forget. He watches over EasyJet. And has earned a dazzling array of wings as the bells on the Belfast city tannoy sing and ring out for that hot-footed lager light. He's the best. But of course, if it was up to me, I'd find credit in our divine line of literary history. C.S. Lewis threw us something to catch, not a ball, not at all, something different to that. Paper, just paper, resting in your hands somehow becomes the mane of Aslan. He made it feel so real. Surreal to think he started right here, the creator of Narnia, born in Dundela, our very own C.S. Yes, what a fella. In worlds within worlds of snow-capped dreams, I had seen it all. It would seem in that other place of mountain range. Born from our morns with crystallised rain, I have returned again and again to Narnia. And I still cling like a child to that flowing mane. In an untamed voice, I hear my name. I listen to the lion. Who speaks to you when you go for a walk? Who do you talk to when you need to talk? In Belfast, we have more angels than men. So much to say if we just listen to them. So next time you're out for a walk on Belfast streets, why don't you listen carefully? Because we are everyday angels with mortal responsibilities. We tread the footsteps of men like C.S., and I think it was he that said it best. When he said, hardships often prepare ordinary people for an extraordinary destiny. Welcome, everybody. Thank you all so much for coming and giving me something to get out of bed for. I don't know if anybody else knows about this or suffers from this, but there's something we have in Belfast known as a melted head. Anybody else here feel like a melted head? Yeah. Solidarity. You say your head's melted. Felt it sting the day they cursed the Queen and burnt the Pope. Up the stairs the smoke dope. Can't cope with the tipping from hope and forgiving to another racist attack. Another beautiful black family made to feel they're less than welcome on our streets. Rearrange your beliefs and give our heads peace. Wide your neck to a perspective where we are all free. Keep going, keep growing Belfast, take it in. Feel we could win more together than apart. Because you maybe know oil painting, but you're our wee work of art. Flags and name tags make a worn out canvas in Belfast. This may not be how we planned it, but you're all we've got. And it's in our hands, it's in our hands to change. Take the stones and sticks in our politics and call it another name. Because we've atoned with broken bones for playing vicious games. With all colours of flags, let's not make it a drag. Let's wave them all with pride. Because God knows we share this place called home. Too many people have died. And at the Fla and the 12th, is it good for our health to sell kids plastic machine guns? What if we hung a rosary on the lambeg and a sash on the boron? And what if the weight of billowing flag didn't drag a single soul down, and the murals painted celebrated every colour in this town? Then we could really take some pride in where we all come from, free from oppression. And did I mention your ma's your dad's your mum? So we're not flagging, we only slagging. Sure, it's all just wee buns. And in the city we're sitting pretty when we get the odd wee bit of sun. All the spies and culchies, millies and monkeys, Aldgets and Egypts, chinkies and chunkies, the tigs, the blackies, the polies, the packies, the yanks, the jippos and Huns. Share the same crack. So come on round the back of the pub if you're up for the fun. There's a seat for you here. Black stuff or beer. Go on, you'll have a pint. Musicians and poets and singers and folk sit and entertain into the night. The music is sharp. Ursula on the harp. The session's in full swing. Heard a girl came in with a new way to play with the djembe shaking her thing. Sounded sweet with the flute. And the fiddler's cute. And have you heard her sing? As the tourists from France swing their pants, and we're proud to say it's our thing. New and old rhythms together at last. Now this is what I call real Belfast. And I'll tell the world, this city is sweet. As Van sings to me as I walk on these streets, a welcome friend to lighten the load. From the dark end of the street to the bright side of the road. As a child, of course, I was a bookworm. I'd turn and turn and return to them countless times. Remember Roald Dahl's revolting rhymes? And Rick Mail on Jack and Nori? Burning them alive? Geezer, Topper, Beano, Dandy. In our house, it was handy enough to find comics among the books and pens and return to them countless times. I didn't learn to read till P2, because there was a really mean teacher at our school by the name of Miss Vance. Overheard in the playground, she wet her pants in the middle of a dance in France. Smacked me, attacked me, barely over 3 years old. I survived 4 years without needing to be told I was bold, stupid, on another planet. God damn it, Miss Vance. If this planet is filled with people like you, then maybe I decided I'd rather be somewhere else. Not for Alice. I was free to be myself. A wealth of support for my talents. Teachers are counted on to teach, to reach out, to be there for wee souls in their care, and like too many teachers, blind to what kids could be, she knocked the confidence right out of me. P1 had begun, barely over 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. Confusion followed me. Now, ask me to say cheese. I'm in the paper for my painting when I'm in P3, and for the life of them, they cannot get me to smile. This child has never been given so much attention, so many mentions of my name in a row. I'm not used to knowing how to know where to go with achievement. So, my expression in the paper is that of bereavement. Because although I am a little bookworm, this £10 book token prize that I earned does little to appease my sense of divine discontent. But the confusion did ease when it was spent. A book is a wonderful thing. You can learn about other children that feel the same way, about other teachers that treated them that way. Matilda urged me to keep reading. Her message to me was that I didn't need to be needing to be anything other than me. It was hard to take that message seriously when I was constantly tuning in to the TV, whose messages my times tables. Teachers would try again and again, and it was the bane of my father's life. He mistakenly made it his aim to teach me, but the right side of my brain was already beginning to be hogging all the good stuff. That's where I keep my imagination, you see. Steam trains, clouds, big fat cats with bowler hats and spats coloured with crayons, this and that, purple-billed birds that sing and fling gravy rings in the air without care. Countless things. Hadn't counted on how much all these imagined things would do for me, lift me out of uncertainty, take me to a technicolor reality. And I'm not talking about repeats on BBC or ITV of Yellow Brick Roads or Dorothy, because these days they don't have a single tiny wee TV set in sight. Turfed it out. Because creativity doesn't have a number, a dial, a lock, some cryptic map in a hidden sock owned by someone other than me. Not even a professor with a PhD, because even though I never got a degree, I'm making art. I'm taking part. And all these imagined things you see me create were made when I silenced the voices of hate that put me down, telling me I'm doing it wrong, or not doing enough. Because now, I'm calling Miss Vance's bluff. She was talking that language bullies use. The translation for human being use is, I'm hurt. I'm going to hurt you too. Even if you're only 2, or 3, or 4, or 1, or none. From birth, we all battle countless bullies. It's taken me a while, now I'm well past 30. But I'm beginning to learn that I am worthy of doing countless things. You can do them with me. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. How's everybody doing? Great. I just realised I've done my poems in a different order than I wrote them. I might take a wee break from the poems for a wee second. Yeah, share a little bit about some fun facts about me. First of all, I'll do some audience interaction with that. Did anybody here do their cycling proficiency test? Yeah.
I was really proud of myself.
You're really great. Did you get it?
Yes, I passed.
You passed. Congratulations. Brilliant. Right applause. Anybody else? Any cycling proficiency stories? No? Yeah. I can't see if people very well here, but yeah, a few people do it. A few people pass.
Yeah.
I failed. I failed my cycling proficiency test. It's one of the only children in a very, very large school, Strandtown Primary School, big school. I'm the only ones who failed because I was too slow. Knocked over a few cones there, and it was just such a shame. Because, my parents were really rooting for me. My dad had collected up all the little tokens from the Weetabix packet for the Weetabix cycling helmet, which was just so ironic because I mustn't have had my Weetabix that day, but anyway, I tried and I failed. When the irony just kind of snowballs, as I find as you get older, because now I have a diagnosis of bipolar disorder. And one of the that's the response I usually get. Particularly when I'm on a date. But yes, the irony of that is anyone here who knows anything about bipolar, one aspect of bipolar that I'm very good at is something called rapid cycling. You have to laugh. Anybody who doesn't know what rapid cycling is, it's like a series series of mood swings in close succession, mania and yes, crippling depression. So I do find, yeah. Another fun fact about me, as you know, I've got lots of fun facts. Is exactly this time last year. Some people know this already, but I was sectioned in a mental health ward in Belfast. Yes, again, deadly silence. I can sense the buttocks clenching in the audience. It's like an uncomfortable thing to talk about. But I'm pretty comfortable. I dressed appropriately. I'm wearing what I wore this time last year. And yeah, I watched a lot of comedy when I was there on my laptop, and it really, you have to laugh. When things get so bad, sometimes you just have to laugh. So yeah, this is the point of tonight, I guess. So cheers. Anyway, I was sitting in the mental health ward, and anyway, I've got plenty of stories I can tell you, but I probably should get back to the poems. Anyway, let me tell you a bit more about that later. But yeah, thanks for coming, everybody. I'll share another poem here. Anybody here? I'm sure there's a lot of creative people in the audience. So I'll share this poem, which is it's about art and just it's called What to Do with My Collection of Blank Canvases. I was once a tortured artist, never getting close, always feeling a mist touching upon the bliss of Rodin and Klimt's way to say kiss. I was once a tortured artist. I'd collect blank canvases, hoard them and wait, like I was preparing for an apocalyptic downpour of paint. Forsaking the saint who lives in every rainbow, who whispered to me when I was a child, she said, "Colour is within you. All you have to do is open to it. Let it be. You are a work of art. You don't need a plan. And if life is a canvas, throw all the paint on it you can." But a fear came and framed a closed door in me. A fear built from a lack of certainty. Because insecurity can distort the truth when you let bullies in, like I did in my youth. The truth is, I was always an artist. I was always dying to make art. But faced with peers who wouldn't let me take part, who judged me with precision, nudged me off the starting position, confidence spiraling downwards, my life became a collection of goodbyes and sighs and better luck next times. Blank, blank, blank. I've had to fill in my own blanks. Because if you say bullies have a lot to answer for, you'll get nowhere. And it can take years to split nowhere to make now and here. Here's a clue. And I've said this before, it usually starts with fear. Fear of getting it wrong. Fear of them taking too long. That my art as a reflection of me might not be good enough, causing me to crumble under the weight of confusion and the illusion that I might not be a good artist. I might not be a good person. It closed me, tripped me, ripped me in the places where I held my truth. Got to feeling a little too bruised, a little too delicate for any more colour. Began to hide the paint. Began to stretch and stack white and white to try and subtract what was black and torn, cheating my eyes, saying it's okay because I bought a blank canvas today. But facing that canvas to make it something other than blank was like trying to find the invisible man in a snowstorm. For paintings without paint can never be wrong. Never be less than perfect. Never be, never be, never be anything. And if the singer never sings that song, she'll never hit a wrong note. The art stuck in my throat. Till one day a friend said words so perfect, I swear it must have been God. He said, "I'm sure, Alice, all the best art is flawed." With friends like that, I stopped searching for invisible men and started thinking about making art again. I might make today. I might dare to find some hidden paint today. What I might make might be a mistake today, but hey, The bliss of art's kiss is worth the risk, I say. So I decided to trust in being an artist, weathering the tortured parts, creating, not waiting, delighting in painting, because I am my best work of art. Anybody who came to the show here last time, I'm still experimenting and playing about with things. I drew all over the I actually used that as a kind of a blank canvas and drew all over it. I'm not going to do that this time because I think it might be a bit distracting for the other performers. But I will. I'll share this one with you anyway, which is, I guess, about that creative. I don't know. Sorry, I'm going to have to work on my introductions for these. This is. I'll just not introduce it and see how it goes. I'm in Wonderland with a ticket in my hand. It's gold and old and murmurs words like scratches in the sand. The white rabbit's on my tail. I hoist my boat, a well-set sail. When a tiny little snail says, "Wait, don't you understand? How could you forget? The table all is neatly set for pussycat and vet and everyone to come to tea." I would not like to say to the Mad Hatter today, "You've gone astray and you'll not come back with me." I thought I'd go with Tiny Tim, but his brothers are so grim, and a feeling from within told me find another road. So I forgot about the men to go out on my boat again. And I can't remember when, but I met a lovely toad. He said, "You smell like briar rose. You have a gorgeous nose." I once had one of those. For I used to be a gnome. Met a fairy queen one night in misty midsummer moonlight. She was such a lovely sight. She said she'd take me home. But something happened then that I wouldn't do again. I went to kiss her when the jealous fairy king appeared. He cried, "Hodis, wish away." And I turned that very day into an ugly toad as he laughed and stroked his beard. Now, I know what you will say. Did you kiss the toad that day? I really have to say, his story had me wondering. But I didn't go with Toad along his little road. Gathered up my load and went in search of Fairy King. And you ask, did you find the Fairy King you had in mind? Well, I thought I would unwind a bit among the forest green. And there I saw a dove, sent from heaven up above, led me to a land of love, the throne of the Fairy Queen. So now I can be found on a magic patch of ground where special spirits gather singing sacred songs of love. And there's the Fairy Queen in her dress of glistening green, and her Fairy King so mean that she turned into a dove. And that's the fairy tale. And you may not think it real, for my mind's inclined to sail away to lands of make-believe. But if you ever care to look into my storybook, you may find that you're hooked and you will not want to leave. So nestle into bed and I'll kiss you on the head. And after milk and bread, like the princess with the pea, we'll pile mattresses up high, reaching far up to the sky. I really don't know why, but it'll fill us up with glee. With bed sheets as our sails will sleepily set sail in our bed boat. We'll stay afloat amid the storms and gales. As clouds, they will pass by, waving to us in the sky. And we will softly sigh when we find that dreaming realm where fairy tales are made, woven like a golden braid, and we will fish for all we wish while sleeping at the helm. So are there in the audience? Tom? I might share a poem with you about writing. Does anybody here go along to like poetry nights and things like that? Anybody ever read their work?
Yes.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
Yes.
It's terrifying. When I first did it years ago, I was like, hands were shaking, got your bit of paper, and there's something that people do. I don't know if you've seen this yourselves or if you've experienced it. I used to do it all the time, where you get up and you go, right, well, I've got a poem here, and well, it's not really a poem. I just, I'm not a poet. I wrote, and it's not finished, and it's. And I call this like a disclaimer people do, disclaimer, and a lot of the time the disclaimer is longer than the poem. So I met a poet a while back now, a few years ago, called Tony Walsh, who he's great, look him up, otherwise known as Longfella, and he's risen to fame in a major way the past couple of years. He's amazing, and he really changed the way that I approached this, and sort of helped me. He came to Belfast and he did a workshop. So that's what this poem's about. It's for anybody who's thought about writing, and it's called Disclaimer. A while back, I lost my voice. Writer's block. Was an understatement. With all those blocks, I could concrete the pavement from City Hall all the way to my home, till I traded in concrete for cobblestones and dallies doused with Belfast rain. Hunters draining pints in the Duke, and up the stairs I looked and met a spellbinding performance poet who told the toad in my throat to croak it. He said, "Poetry is for you." It's been a long road, Longfella, but I've pulled my voice through. Some of us lose our voice before we've said anything, or just when we're about to sing the most beautiful tune. Do not let this happen to you. Rule number 1 and rule number 2. 1, never apologise for your art. In the disclaimers, who are you explaining yourself to? Someone who might put you down? Rule number 2, never let anyone put you down. I'm not going to say sorry for this cliche. Your voice deserves to be heard. Even if you are a nerd, a freak, a weirdo, a beginner, with a lack of literacy and a book of poetry thinner than 1 page, because if you engage your mind and voice, you'd be onto a winner. I'm not talking poet laureate, because awards are shiny, yes, but your words say you best. So relearn what unteachers made you forget, when they unspun your dreams, when your ears were still wet. Academia nuts. I love them, they're great, but some professors hate the way I'm rhyming right now. Expressing words like I'm milking a cow, not caring about being sparing and pondering how to win the next literary prize, because, wait for it, even though I'm now older than 30, I'm proud to be like a teenage dream queen performance poetry machine, and it feels good to spout my beliefs and not constantly be battling a case of brain freeze because of the poison some PhD professor fed me, saying I wasn't good enough. And I wish the bigwigs all the love and good luck in the world with their beautiful words in their books that I own and I read and I need, because they feed my soul, and I thank them for all of that. But they can go fuck a duck. They're going to call my poetry mad, or have the gall to call me mad for rhyming fuck with duck. Rule number 3, enjoy it. And let it be poetry, because there's room for all of us to be poets. To share with you guys here. I fear we're kind of running out of time a wee bit, so I might have to pick. Anyway, do you want to hear a poem about Van Morrison or?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So I grew up. A little cul-de-sac in East Belfast called Cypress Gardens, which is just that's my twin sister. basically, yeah, it's just adjacent to the Cypress Avenue, famous street. So anyway, I don't know if I need to introduce this. If you're a Van fan, you might guess some of what I'm talking about in this poem. It's called The Lion's Roar. My dad thinks I'm more famous than I am. He asked me to get him tickets to Van Morrison. Seriously? He said to me, Alice, could you pull a few strings? Aren't you good, Dad? But here's the thing, that gig is sold out. And without a doubt, before Van anchors back on this piece of turf where we have the crack, there will be a whole cast of Belfast citizens with more sway than me, asking for spare tickets to see that lyrical genius, wise man of the East, returning like a memory, to lift the sweet fruit that fell from the poetry tree and hold it in an alchemy, a mastery, a feast, for ears and hearts and minds and souls with a song of home deep enough to fill every bone, every hungry vessel with warmth and chills. And what do I have? I'm a low-down hobo poet living in Wonderland, Dad. I don't really go out. I don't socialise. 1,193 friends on Facebook to disguise the fact that I'm alone most of the time. And yes, I live just a few steps from Hindford Street, and I'm making ripples with my poetry. But those tiny ripples might as well be swirling inside a tub of ice cream. And for all the Celtic king of soul could sing about fuscos and jelly roll these days, he must go sailing on. He doesn't clean windows around here no more. It'll be a long time before my ripples make waves big enough to get me out of this phase I'm in, to lift my head from the sands of writing and reading to another game of healing, to stand in my own skin and shake hands with poetic champions. I'm sorry, Dad. I know you might be Van's biggest fan, but so is nearly every other man in East Belfast. Who, like you, listened from the beginning to the mystic breaking through. And maybe I'll not always be in this rut. Just too late to get the good stuff, and maybe someday I will place in your hand front row tickets to see the man. But it is more than enough for me to find a quiet reverie, book in hand. A book a loved one gave to me at Christmas time. And I have to admit, it made me cry. Because that book is called Lit Up Inside. Because you see, I know I'm not the only one who, despite the technicalities of blood, feels like Van is a member of my family. He generously shared with me his soul when he said Coney Island was beautiful. And I was 4 years old, driving to the shore, excited to see what the big man had promised me, and he gave me and my family more than anyone could ever ask for. I'll miss that Cypress Gardens tent, semi-detached cul-de-sac in Ballyhack. Now I'm at Terrace 24. But he takes me back and up the avenue every time Madame George checks her tights on my mindful ladders, climbs new heights and spires a shower of colours over my soul. As the lion growls, climbs the walls, Jackie Wilson dances in the kitchen, Van Morrison. You said it all. So Mr. Morrison, if you're listening, have a ball. And I will listen in my kitchen till my soul has fallen out of where it was before and more. I'll keep listening into the next life and those that came before. And I'll pray I'll never stray from the lion's roar.
Woo!
Just got a couple more poems, and we've got quite a party ahead of us as well. That's great. Yeah, so I was in the mental health ward this time last year, and when you talk to people about this stuff, I don't just say to people, oh, I was sectioned in a mental health ward. You don't say that in polite conversation. You say, oh, what have you been up to lately? And I just say, I've been on a mental health break. That's the phrase I use. And then people are really impressed with that. Like, oh, good for you. Looking after your mental health, that's really important. And the thing about, yeah, so I've been on a mental health break anyway, and you know what they say, have a break, have a Kit Kat. So I'm just, yeah, anyway, sorry, I got that joke the wrong way around. Anyway, but the ward was the perfect place for that, because they have a huge vending machine filled with Kit Kats. So, yeah, part of the fun. And there was one day I was sitting there and I'd run out of Kit Kats, and I got to the stage of have a break, have a cake. Sitting there, called like my depression pillow, just sink your head in there, you know. And the doctor was coming around and he said, "Alice, are you okay?" And I said, "No, doctor, I'm not okay. It's got to the stage of have a break, have a cake." And he said, "Alice, you know what? The weight gain is it happens to everybody. Like, I'm not worried about it. Like, you know, it's part of the medication, all the rest of it. What I am concerned about is, you know, rhyming is a symptom of psychosis." The truth is stranger than fiction, this honestly. Guys who made mental health care professionals in Northern Ireland told me this. Up until this point in my life, I devoted most of my adult life to writing and performing rhyming poetry. Turns out the entire time I was just psychotic. It explains a lot, really, doesn't it? So I challenged him on his assessment of my sanity. Please challenging this stuff, please challenging. I said, "Doctor, your diagnosis of psychosis." It's atrocious. Halitosis, myxomatosis, deep vein thrombosis, by osmosis. And do you have any change for the vending machine? So yeah, this is, you know, I've been dabbling in stand-up comedy because it really, really helps. You know, you have to laugh, and you know, these are the things that help. I've had this condition my whole adult life. I first went in the hospital when I was 18 years old, and was back in there last year, and you know, I've learnt a lot. I think what you really need is a lot of kindness. It's one of the main things. You need kindness, a huge amount of kindness for yourself and from other people, and determination. You need to be very determined. And you also need love, obviously. Like,
Yeah.
So maybe do a poem for you that I call Love. Anybody here in love?
Yes.
Anyway, this poem is called Love. Love is not shaving your legs every day. Love is your partner pretending they like them that way. Because they know you get anxious about hair removal. Love is flawless approval when asked to be a magic mirror. Love is not getting any thinner, because people in love eat and enjoy their food. Because love tastes good. So feed your lover like a good lover should. Love is waffles on a sex-filled afternoon. Because love is fuel, stoking the fire, writing dire poems with rhymes in, but always rhyming with perfect timing. Because love is more coal than diamond, could take or leave a ring. Because love isn't really into bling. Love is homemade presents, surprises, unbirthdays, unforgettings. Love is deep and rough and thick and thin. Love is your bristly chin. Love is better than a page 3 girl, and wetter than your wettest dream. Love is being 16 again and it all coming true. Love is big hairy balls. Love is being rude. Love is me plus you plus a good load of lube. Love doesn't give a toss if you've a hint of moves. Love is backs and thighs and bums and boobs all locked in and playing spoons. Love is arms around me and arms around you. A muscle memory those guns won't lose. Love is adding another briquette to the fire because this night's not over yet. Love is free to bet. Love is climbing higher and higher till you get past the tree line and look down over the mountainside. Love is no, I'm not quite done with making you. Love is fun. Love is a road trip on a highway to bliss. Love is that kiss. The one when you haven't kissed in ages. The one that could make you write pages and pages of poetry. Love is letting me play your guitar. Love is, baby, you can drive my car. Because love has a PhD in me. And love has a smorgasbord of candidates for that honorary degree. And love is up there on my list of priorities. God, love. I'm sick and tired of the flirt and tease in the ongoing search for the next big cheese. And I'll tell you something, love. If I'm not gay, I sure don't feel straight. I've bent for love till fit to break, and maybe I'm afraid of love. Love is invisible. Pianos. Love is John Candy in trains, planes and automobiles. Because love likes me this way. And love gives me an A+ for my efforts. And love is studying hard for the day when love lets me give this wanting a test and gives this endless waiting a rest. Because there's this weight that's been growing in my chest for love to say, I love you. I love you best. So speaking of people in love eating, I'm just a bit concerned because we ordered pizzas. I'm not sure, we're running a wee bit over time. Is there anybody hungry? Anybody fancy a slice of pizza? So thank you all so much for listening. I've just got a couple of last poems here, and I've just got a couple more. I've got another love poem actually, but it's going to take a little bit of suspension of disbelief. It's a love poem for Stormont. Is it too late for a love poem for Stormont? Well, this is called Cardiac Arrest at one of the buildings. If Stormont Buildings had a heart that pumped the people through, the parting doors and polished floors and seats cushioned with blue, what rhythm would it keep? And would it break as our hearts do? Surely the pressure built up in there might cause a health issue. Politicians can carry germs not good for healing wounds. And if Stormont ever had a heart, who'd nourish it with food? Who would keep its rhythm steady? Who would keep the fatty, heavy weight of debate light and healthy and flowing in every room? I dare say if Stormont had a heart, it would have a scar or two in vital places, divided with traces of badly patched up wounds. Yes, if Stormont had a heart, we'd need a bypass on major arteries to open up the broken bleed of the ruts of centuries, a fatal coronary disease of worn out, torn out history, resulting in a diagnosis of an atrocious, ferocious thrombosis caused by a collective neurosis in the pulmonary gene, a rare arrested development, like medicines never seen, caused by stress, and the mess of the Assembly's odd and deeply flawed bureaucracy, among other things. With so many issues and policies that need to be transfused, finding a donor that isn't a moaner is a difficult thing to do. The political servants can be quite fervent and often they'll refuse to cooperate, so we'll operate, bring in someone new. Those that wrestle in vessels have got to go. Those that do not keep the flow of rocky channels, refusing to grow, moving backwards, saying no, consuming all the capital and taking up all the room. Perhaps if tested, we might find what's infested in the stream. Perhaps too much testosterone is what's caused this restless, ticking, irregular, a strange murmur, a grunt, a whir, a grr. This is not how it should go. Someone call a doctor. We really need a colossal doc to pull our not quite right White House through. It's looking pale. It's just got real. What are we going to do? We're in a crisis. We need advice. It's bedlam in every boardroom. Won't someone save this estate in a state? Won't someone lift that ancient weight that rests forever at the gates of Stormont? We would need a miracle. And who could ever fit the bill? To fix and keep a rhythm we could live in, make it good. To fix Stormont's broken heart, we'd need someone huge. But if someday Samson or Goliath thought that they might go to school to study medicine, that would be pretty cool. They could put a giant stethoscope above the assembly room so they might find some signs of life, a rumble, a gurgle or two. And as Carson holds his wrist aloft, I suppose it would be rude not to check his pulse. Maybe that might do some good. But sadly, our NHS or NHS is kind of confused. And at the Ulster, regardless of culture, you want to see the cues. I've asked the nurses, I've asked the doctors, they've told me there's no room, no spare bed, our health minister said, for our Parliament buildings to rest its head. There isn't a pillow big enough, no resuscitation quick enough. And though they've tried all kinds of drugs up at Stormont, now they've all just fucked off. But what if Stormont fell in love? Granted, I'll admit, it's no cathedral or hotel, not exactly romantic. But you'd be surprised. Despite the lies in politics, many ready blushing brides seem to have taken to it, bizarrely, as wedding parties stand in line for photographs. That's nice. But ask that bride if she'd like to be in there when the big wigs snap like twigs on chairs, their faces red, full of despair, their melting heads blowing hot air. That's not very pretty scenery, despite the outdoor greenery. And though the Queen has been to visit Stormont, it's obscene that it seems to fall apart at the seams at the very mention of past. Don't ask. Maybe it's just too much of a task to dream of keeping love on track in there. But what do I know? What do I care of feeling a heart, a place? Love's forever fleeting, and all can be erased. Within one crashing moment, the heart becomes a cage, and maybe our own freedom lies beyond this worn-out phase, Stormont. My darling Stormont, a building by any other name. Oh, let me count the ways. I hope, my darling Stormont, that you find better days. Thanks so much, guys. You're in for a treat tonight with what we've got lined up, and hope you'll all stick around. And this is all for the Samaritans, who've been a massive support to me There's lots of things that help keep you going, and art and poetry and music. So I'll share one last poem with you about music. It was a night I went to a number of years ago, and it was Terry Healy he was in a hospital at the time, and a lot of musicians rallied together and did this beautiful event for him. And it was one of those nights where I was walking home, and this poem came into my head, and it's called "Last Night the Limelight Saved My Life." Last time I was here, I was underage, disengaged, stunted at a stage of growth that said, a shot to my shy throat, down and one was the way to go, melt stop words with alcohol. Row on row, the cues to booze, count the ways we struggle. Scared to show where we could go without the help of bubbles. No popping, punk rocking was the way to get us through the troubles. The city swam in a bomb scare haze, and there are too few who say them were the days when we counted footsteps home. Won't you slow a screaming city with the heartbeat of a song, and turn it up just enough to will the need to grow, from bold, alive minds finding truth and good vibes to scratch test dummies with vinyl eyes sounding slick to flick it another time, rewind cassettes to chant upon rhymes, mosh pit fit and bang on time. Takes me back to hear it live, to a time when we all danced to live and rage against the dying of a night like this, live to listen and kiss a dream, to touch upon the bliss of touching more than a screen, more than a selfie said, help me to scream these machines we now grasp, a sci-fi dream. Back then, wrote numbers of friends on paper scraps through greasy smoke clouds. Now, we trawl on mindless so-called social sites and aren't allowed a toke inside, but still choke and hide behind whatever's there to hide behind. Tonight, I'm determined to feel more than I did back then. Sensual rebels saying to friends I don't drink anymore. And I'll chase more than men to walk myself out the door. A woman who's not what she was before, not lost. For as long as I have poetry, I have something to live for. I suck upon a pen that says I could be punk. I could stand, have something to stand for. Walk on up the Ormo Road and stop in awe. To taste the left by fairies flakes of frost that sparkle on the gasworks gates. It's late. In St. George's Market, 1,000 tiny stars stay awake past Christmas time. I look to where planets align, to where the real stars are, blow steamy kisses to frozen litter bins. Thank God for how much I hate and love living. This Belfast footpath glistens. Like my own river, I could skate on if the growing pain of being so grown and sometimes more solitary than I have ever known doesn't leave me frozen. These shapes I make when I'm alone, and I dare to say are beautiful, wrapped in paper cradles of poetic champions. Somewhere between Mars and home, rub words against words to make it all right as this poem sparks in the dark, late at night, walking away from the limelight. Woo! Thanks so much, guys. It's pretty nerve-wracking sharing poetry on a lineup with comedians, really good comedians. But I sort of tend to put myself out on a limb on that for some reason. But I write little bits and pieces of songs and things. This is just gonna leave you with this one last song. Thanks everybody for coming and enjoy the night. And this is a song which it's a song I always love this song, and I find it really hard to talk about mental health, mental illness, actually write about it in my poetry properly. So I wrote this to try and talk about it a little bit. So you might recognise the song because I've just pretty much stolen one of my favourite songs and changed the words. But anyway, my name is Alice. Live at number 24. You may not care to know it, but in the wee hours behind my door, there's a private world of lonely nights. Deep inside there is this fight. But if you ask me how I am, I'll tell you everything is grand. 'Cause no one wants to see depression. My name is Alice. I used to take a ton of meds. My mother said I needed bed rest to silence the thoughts in my head. So for years and years I'd hide, burying everything inside. The doctor asked me how I was. Give me more sedating drugs. Didn't know who on earth I was. My name is Alice. My imagination is a gift. I write these crazy stories. Learned how art can give me a lift. These visions float to me at night as I imagine taking flight. But I wish them it would seem I am the queen of broken dreams. And who'd believe things I've seen? My name is Alice. Dancing colors take me there. Penny for everyone, and I would be a millionaire. But it is cold inside this world, for inside I'm not a girl, a bona fide bipolar bear. Sometimes I'm here, sometimes I'm there. Boy, it'd be crazy to even care. My name is Alice. My friend says, Ali, what's the crack? I tell her I've been feeling lousy. She says the same thing back. We have a laugh about that news, and she shows me her new shoes. She says this life is just a dance. Don't forget to swing your pants. Alice, we can beat depression. My name is Alice. Started writing poetry. Behind these doors I'm learning to tame those restless roars inside of me. We're taught to stop ourselves from pain. Stephen says it's just like rain. You can't stop the flow of life, and everything will be alright if you just trust the voice inside. My name is Alice.
Get a drink at the bar, buy a raffle ticket and be ready to begin for the rest of the show.